Nice. Nice. Oh, no, 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 you can't have the camera.
Well, good morning and welcome to another cruise. Here we are where we left you last time at Bramble Cuttings, which is a lovely mooring. It is cut off though, so the only way you can get here is by boat. So we were forced to have a relaxed afternoon as we couldn't get out and go for a walk. But I think we both needed it, so it's bright and early. Time to go, I think.
And we're off. Leaving this really lovely, unusual mooring. We've passed a few times. I've always wanted to moor, and it was beautiful.
Much more attractive than the last flash with all these boats in it, isn't it? We find ourselves going through the middle of the Tartar chemical works. I did mention the fact that Middlewich and the surroundings were built on the salt trade. Of course, salt, sodium chloride, is an important component for making chemicals. There's been a chemical works on this site since the late 19th century. Why does the canal go through the middle of it? Well, because the raw materials used to be transported by canal to a transshipment wharf, long gone now, of course. A bit like sailing through hell, although it has a kind of stark beauty, I think. And under this bridge commemorating salt, cows and chemicals by the looks of it, we're back in canal time with Wincham Wharf, heading to another industrial destination, only one that's somewhat older. And here we are at our destination for today. We're in Marston, where there is historic salt works, the last open pan salt works virtually in the world, and it's now a heritage museum which we hope to go and have a look at before the heavens open. Coffee first though. So we've had coffee, it's not lunchtime yet. Before the rain starts tipping down as predicted, let's go and have a look at these historic salt works. So the reason why salt has been made in this area for so long is the presence of natural brine pools. The open pan method of salt making has been around since Roman times, and basically it involves pouring brine into troughs made of clay, or in Roman times lead, which was suspended over fires. The brine was then heated, the water evaporated, and the salt crystals formed and were then raked into barrels to dry. That, I think, is some sort of pump that pumped brine up from natural pools. So that there is called a nodding donkey, more commonly seen in oil fields, and that used to pump brine up from subterranean pools to be put into the open pans and evaporated to make salt. Proper engineering. So the brine that was pumped up from these boreholes is apparently called wild brine. And if you want to know more, just pause the video now. So here we are in a depiction of a pan house. This big pan of brine was heated by fires underneath it, and the workers had to scrape the salt from the base to the side. Hot, horrible work in toxic brine and steamy fumes. As we can see from this picture, before he was famous, Freddie Mercury used to work as a lumpman in this salt mine. Now we're talking. This was the pub for the workers. So walking back to the boat, looks like the rain's coming, and I now know much more about salt than I used to. That was a fascinating museum, well worth a visit if you're in the Middlewich area. Now it's lunchtime. Well, the storm has passed, sort of. We've had dinner, pesto crusted salmon on a bed of couscous and roasted vegetables. We don't slum it on this boat. And there's this ethereal, slightly misty scene down the canal. So we're going to relax for the rest of the evening, and tomorrow we'll do a short hop to Anderton, where hopefully a nice walk awaits us. But that's for tomorrow. For now, I'll say good night. Morning. Well, the storm has passed and it's a beautiful day, and the forecast is for largely fair weather for the next few days. So we could crack on and probably be in Manchester by Sunday. But we're not going to do that, because for us, beautiful as though the canals are, it's also about getting off your boat, having a look around where we are. So today it's a short hop to Anderton, where there is the iconic boat lift, but also we picked up a leaflet yesterday at the salt mine, which shows what promises to be a lovely walk back from Anderton to here, and then of course back to Anderton, through this post-industrial landscape that's been taken back by nature. So I hope you come along with us. Let's go.
And we're off. Been to the services, went to the toilet, got water, got rid of the recycling and the rubbish, and now we're off to get diesel. This is Anderton Marina, where we've got boats from a couple of times in the past.
Well, bit of a short cruise, but boat prep, toilets empty, water tanks full, diesel tanks full. ready for our next cruise onto the Bridgewater. But for now, we're right by the famous Anderton boat lift, so we might go and have a look at that, because I think they sell coffee there, and it's coffee time, but we have no milk. See you later. So the Anderton boat lift here has been characterised as one of the 7 wonders of the waterways. It's had a chequers history, but it was first built in 1875 by Edwin Clark, who built this boat lift to take barges between the Weaver Navigation and the Trent and Mersey Canal. Carrying on the salt theme, these barges were largely salt carrying barges. It initially worked off hydraulics, but the materials of the time weren't really up to that, so it was converted to electricity with electric pulleys, and then fell into disuse before it was restored in 2002 to its original hydraulic function, only using newer materials. It's still a bit unreliable. Every so often you get a message from CRT saying it's broken, but it's working at the moment, and what a wonderful piece of engineering it is. Brief glimpse of the River Weaver. Wasn't that amazing to see that machinery working? Anyway, now we have to go to the co-op. Right, let's go and find the Saltscape Trail. And the amazing thing about this Saltscape Trail is that we're walking over an industrial wasteland. This is where they used to dump the byproducts of potash production, giving it a lime-rich soil, which has been pollinated by birch and various other plants that like a lime-rich soil, very unlike the sort of plants that would normally live in this part of Cheshire. Just shows the power of nature to regenerate itself. Silver birch, an early adopter of this post-industrial landscape. And here in the depths of this vegetation you can see one of the brine pipes that still carries the salt-rich brine to the chemical works. This is Witton Brook, with this little stream feeding into it. So we've just climbed up from the main path that you can probably see down there beneath us onto the wall of a bund. This is not a natural structure. This flat land the other side of the wall was a dumping ground for all the caustic byproducts of chemical production from salt. And as they dumped more and more waste, they built the wall around it higher and higher. So now you have this man-made hill which nature has reclaimed. And here is the pub where I had a takeaway Indian, because they weren't serving food, and a few pints on my 61st birthday. It would seem churlish not to pay it a visit for old time's sake. Cheers. Dave wouldn't like this, very lemony, but it's quite refreshing on a hot day. Right, that was nice. Let's find our way back to Anderton now. More pipes distributing brine, the various salt works and chemical factories in the area, many of them still in use. Newman's Flash. So this is a lake produced by subsidence from the extraction of brine from underneath the ground and salt mining. And now, of course, as with many things, it's returned to nature.
You don't see them very often, do you?
No.
No, I haven't seen the adult, no. No.
Well, what a wonderful walk that was through this post-industrial landscape. Next time we're leaving the Trent and Mersey, but for now I'll say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.